Coach, playing Ohio State this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about a player that you really need to step up for you. Obviously, it's always a team game for you guys, but a player that you're going to really need to have just a killer game to assist in the win this weekend.
Uh, I'm not sure if there's I know you're probably going to hear the answer. I don't really have one. I don't. A couple of things. I'm still trying to sort out my lineup for the weekend, so that's one part. I like to see everyone elevate to some extent better than what we've seen from previous games, and that's when we start to get growth. Obviously, we rely on certain players who have certain skill sets or work ethics to lead the way for us and bring other guys along with them. But overall, when we've had success this year, it's probably more so because of the group on the ice and not one individual. And so for me, it's how do we get our complete game set to a level that we want to play at. And I think for our players right now, they're feeling good about themselves. We had a good response from Western Michigan into the RIT game. So, but we also know that, it's a reset on Monday and a big, tall challenge against Ohio State. So I think just collectively our play without the puck, our D have to be solid. We got to make sure we possess the puck well. We got to minimize our turnovers and make them come 200 feet. If we give them free ones where we turn the puck or in the neutral zone, this is a team that can score quickly on you. So it will be a big challenge for our group.
Absolutely, and kind of just looking at the very first period of the game, Friday night and Saturday night, what's just one thing that you're really going to look for in your team to do? That can be like lots of energy, just getting a quick start offensively.
Well, I love a quick start offensively, right? Wouldn't that always be nice? Always get to play with the lead, obviously feels good. But at the end of the day, we're going down there. We're going to have to weather the storm probably for the first 4 or 5 minutes. When we come back here on Saturday, we'll probably have to be a little bit more calmer. I'm sure they'll be excited playing at home in front of our crowd and having Ohio State up here playing us. There's just a lot of energy, positive energy off it, but sometimes that goes too far and you end up taking a penalty early on because you're just so ramped up and anxious. So it's a battle of our emotions, and like we said, going into RIT last weekend, we had to weather the first 5 minutes against them in front of 10,000 plus there, and our guys did a really good job. But again, as I tell them, we put our skates on the same way they do. We got to be ready and play to our strengths and our identity. But I also know the first 5 minutes of a lot of games doesn't dictate the game, but it can definitely sway that first period. And for us, we want to make sure we can try to put Ohio State on their heels, and by that, it's going to be a lot of puck management and sustaining a good forecheck.
And kind of speaking of this being a big hockey school, obviously your first year as the head coach here, what have you thought so far about the atmosphere and the way the games work here?
Yeah, it's what I remembered as a player and as an interim coach and assistant coach, and loud. Often obviously we have that low ceiling, and I look forward to getting out of the 2 exhibition games and starting to get a non-conference game, and where to be able to play in front of your crowd and in front of your university and your town. It's why you play the game. I always say it. It's the fun part, putting on the jersey, and you want to go out and make them proud, and someone that they want to cheer for and get behind. And we also know as a team we got to play a certain way. We got to have a certain identity that makes the game and makes our fans proud of the way we play and exciting. So I've really liked the way we've come together. We've been physical, we've been fast on our forecheck, we've been relentless on pucks, and to me it's going to be a great test. And I know our guys, I don't think I have to say much before Saturday's game to get them going, or Friday. So from a coaching standpoint, playing a team like Ohio State, a Big Ten conference team, that alone gets our players pretty hyped up. I probably got to keep them calm a little bit, and I know they're probably laughing if they hear that, because then that means I got to stay calm a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's just managing your emotions and your energy level.
And lastly, can you just kind of speak on the continuity and dynamic of your team so far this season? Obviously, you have a lot of new faces on the team with new players coming in, but how's the dynamic of the team working so far?
I think really good, and that's a testament to our leadership group, our graduates, our seniors, our juniors, everybody. There's no, you coach. I've coached a number of years, but I've been on teams where you get the clicks and you got to try to break them up. Here, like the guys have been, you know, if you go to a lunch, they sit with different guys every time. It's not the same 5, 6 guys in one house or a senior group or a junior group. And I think that's what's been most impressive. And for us, has been our strength, is the nucleus of the whole group. And as I tell our guys, whether you play 5 minutes, 20 minutes, no minutes, to me, every player is just as important. And I've been that guy. I've been a 25-minute player, and I've been a player here in college where I dress and don't get a shift as a forward, you know. And so I understand it's not easy sometimes of what the players go through, but when we have such a strong bond of collectiveness, I feel, you know, through that locker room, and again, that goes to our seniors and our leadership group doing a really good job assimilating all the new faces, all the new players right away. And then from there, you know, they don't want to let each other down. You start to build that brotherhood that, you know, inside the locker room, like it's kind of becomes a habit where you want to make every play for the guy next to you. And that's one thing we've really preached, and one thing the players are doing a really nice job of.
So before all the action happens on Saturday at 7:30, do you think standing on the bench you might feel a sense of nostalgia, full circle moment from being a player on the ice with the old CCHA rivalry to playing them in non-conference with a full Slater? I don't know if it's what Sam asked earlier, but sense of a full circle moment from player to coach.
Yeah, I know. You'll have to maybe ask after how I felt, I guess, on that, Mike, because it's, you know, to us, when we get on the bench, like, it's just coaching, you know, off it, and it's funny, we as coaches think differently, you know, like, I normally try to wave to my wife and kids, and that's it, you know, and I get right into, all right, what's our drop of the puck? Do we have our responsibilities set? You know, who am I going to come the second line with, you know, off it? Obviously, I'll take it in. It's going to be a fun game. I got my older brother coming down with his junior team, which is nice. And, you know, he spent a lot of time here as well watching me as a player and then as a coach, you know, so to be able to have him in the building and, like I said, with Holly and the girls, it'll definitely be fun. And it's been a fast 6-7 months. I don't even know how long I've been here, but it's gone by fast, because I think back to when I first came here on the press conference to where we are now. You know, like it's been a blast. These players make it fun. They come to the rink every day wanting to work and get better. So from a coaching standpoint, you enjoy coaching those type of players. And for me, coming into Saturday, again, it's not about Dennis Williams. It's about our group doing what we can to try to get 2 points at home.
What's your short message to why people should buy tickets to come to the home opener against Ohio State in this brand new renovated building on Saturday?
Well, I think it's more than just a game, you know, to experience the renovations at the end, how it's enclosed, the band, the crowd, the atmosphere. You know, we as a team, we have to put out a product, but it's more than just a game. It's an experience for people. It's an experience for families. We like to think we play a hard, fast, physical game, which is an entertaining game. I always say the more times you can get fans out of the seats, the better value, right? And one way is obviously score goals, big saves, hits, you know, and that's one thing we strive to do is play a fast, physical hockey game. And if we can do that, I think people come in to see these young men out here battling. They've been waiting for a home non-conference game for a few months now. So I just think the energy is going to be high. It's a great building, great facility. I think it's going to be a great hockey game. As I always tell our guys, I can't tell you if we're going to win or lose it. We're going to put our best foot forward and the best effort, and we'll see where the puck falls.
On Friday night, Ryan O'Hara is playing in his 100th career game. Can you talk about what that means as a coach to see a player, you know, reach that milestone?
Yeah, good for him. I didn't know that. 100 games is never easy in college, especially in one university with the landscape of it right now, right, too, with the transfer portal and everything. So I think what it really shows about Ryan is his commitment to the school, to the program, the character that he has. You know, he's been a real loyal, hard-working player here, you know, over the years past. And I've only got to know him for a few months now, 2-3 months, and you can tell why he's such a special player. You know, he's part of our leadership group for a reason, because of his practice habits, his details, his care for his teammates, how he elevates players around him. One thing Ryan can do, and this is what you talk about on a line, he's a driver on a line. He can drive a line and elevate his teammates. You know, there's some guys can't do that. It's hard to be a driver. To me, my short time with Ryan, you can just tell I can put any two guys on that line, and he'll make them a really good line. And that's a testament, I think, to his work ethic and his skill set out there.
Any questions on Zoom?
Hey, Coach. You've been part of the Bowling Green Ohio State rivalry, both as a player and a coach before. What makes this matchup special for you and just the BGSU community overall?
Well, I think anytime we play, first of all, in-state teams are always exciting. Whether it's Ohio State or Miami. A lot of people in this area obviously know Ohio State, and they go one way or another, whether they like them or they don't, often and through sports as well. And to me, going through and coming full circle to play them again. I remember playing them as a player, in the older rink at the time, and now they got I guess it's newer but not newer rink, but a newer rink, often. And I think for our fans to be able to see, again, the opportunity to see a Big Ten team come in here to Bowling Green is one thing. It's when you look at sports across all over, it's hard to find top conference teams. And one thing they've been really good and gracious with is being partners in non-conference games. And it's nice that we can have a home and home series with them. You can focus on selling just one ticket for the weekend versus having to have back-to-back games. And for us, it's a real good challenge because we know they're always strong and they're always a good team. And, I think they're ranked 17th maybe right now. They had the 2 big wins in Wisconsin on the weekend on the road. So they're playing with a lot of confidence, right now, and a lot of swagger, and which they should be. And we're going to have to make sure we come in with the same swagger, but not to the point where it gets past the era of confidence. Like, we want to be confident and humble, and we just want to go about our work. And but we know it's a tall task, ahead of us. But we're excited for the challenge. We're excited to be able to evaluate where we're going to be after and what we got to continue to build off of.
Right, and to have 2 overtime wins already this season, what does that say just about the poise of this team and to perform well and execute in pressure situations?
Yeah, it's we talk about being resilient for 60-plus minutes. Our 60-plus is something we strive for here all the time. We bend, we don't break, and we've had to relate to that a lot throughout our games, whether it's the overtime games and even the one in Mercyhurst where we were down by 2 going in the third, 3-1. To see the resiliency to come back, tie it up, to go down 4-3, to tie it up 4-4. There's a lot of times throughout a game, even at Western Michigan, to go down 2-0 to Western Michigan. A lot of teams might have packed it in. We chipped away. We scored a timely power play goal and a face-off goal, and it's 2-2. And so to me, it's been really good. And those type of wins are the best team builders. And if you watch a celebration after an overtime goal, that just sums it all up for you, I could do team builders to every day, but nothing sums it up as an overtime, hard-fought battle win in your opponent's ring, 10,000 plus fans, and to be able to get that win and know that you've sent home a lot of people disappointed. That's what the visiting team's job is meant to do when they travel on the road. So, but it's been good. Would I like to say we could win some of those games with a little bit more separation and score on some more opportunities? 100%. But that will come. Off it, like we told our guys, your defense is like a dog. It's loyal. It's got to be there every night. We've done a good job shutting them down. And they always say your offense is like a cat. It kind of comes and goes, and we got to make sure at the end of the day we're at least getting those opportunities to score. Whether or not they fall in or not, that's one thing, but I'd be more concerned if we weren't getting opportunities, and we have been getting them.
Any questions on Zoom?
Ryan, obviously, Bowling Green and Ohio State, kind of a cool in-state rivalry. You've been a part of it for a few years now. What makes this matchup special for you guys, for the Bowling Green community? Obviously, it's always packed at the Stroh for this, or at Slater for this game. But what makes this rivalry special to you?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, Battle of Ohio. Obviously, there's Miami too, but OSU is a team we play every year. Fans are always amazing. They're always great at home. It's got a great atmosphere, probably the best atmosphere of the year for the regular season games. So it's always easy to get up for, and we'll be looking to get 2 wins this weekend.
Right. For this early in the season, for you guys to have 2 overtime wins already, what does that say maybe about just the poise of this team and your guys' ability to perform well in pressure situations?
Yeah, I think all of our wins have been 1-goal games, and we're comfortable in those, and a big part of that is that we have a really good goalie in net, and we trust him. We trust our D, and then, it's on the forwards to get one. And actually, last game it was 2D that scored, so it's a collective effort, but there's a lot of trust in each other, and that's what makes us feel comfortable in those 1-goal games.
Right, for sure. I'm sure you'd rather, win comfortably in games, but is it almost just as beneficial, knowing that you guys can pull out these close wins, come from behind and really be able to finish strong there?
Yeah, I mean, the majority of, important games this year are not going to be blowouts. There might be blowout wins some days, and we might be on the other side of those, but to be a great team, you have to learn how to protect a 1-goal lead and be able to come back down one. So those are really important games for us.
Right. Obviously, tough late second period against Western last week. Obviously played well to start out that game, especially the second period early on. I guess what was maybe the biggest thing you learned from that, and how important was it to rebound quickly and obviously pull out that win at RIT?
Yeah, I mean, the Western game didn't go how we wanted to. We were in it, and then you sleep for 5 minutes, and that's what a good team does to you. So that's a learning lesson from that game. And then in RIT, we had a similar game. We had ups and downs. Their goalie stood on his head for a large portion of that game and kept them in it. I think we for sure could have started running away with that game sometime in the second period, but we showed resilience when there was a hot goalie and was able to pull it out in OT.
Right. And obviously, I believe your 100th career game this weekend. What is your time at Bowling Green meant? To reach a milestone like that. How kind of cool is that for you to experience that?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I really would say BG is my second home. I've made some great friends here, and I'm a lot of great relationships here. So I'm really excited to be able to say I'm playing in the 100th game, and hopefully we keep it going and get some more wins this year.
Ryan, Coach kind of talked about your commitment and ability to uplift all the rest of the players on the team. Can you just kind of talk about what it means to you to be a big team player?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to be a team player, and it's easy when there's guys that are, great teammates, I guess is what you would say, right? It makes my job a lot easier as one of the leaders because I got great guys around me, and they're listening, they want to get better. So, yeah, it makes my job easy.
Being named captain, what have been some of the big things that you've been focusing on, the big things that you think are important about being a captain?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, as a captain, you have to be the best version of yourself. If you're not with that, then you're not doing the whole team your proper service. But beyond that, it's about setting the right example and then holding guys accountable to that example. But we have a great team and a lot of great teammates that don't need to be held accountable as much because they're already hitting those standards, especially off the ice and character-wise. So it makes my job easy.